somebody y'all.
What's up, everyone? What is going on? Everybody, y'all need to get in here. Tonight on Wheww Hunnii Wednesdays, get ready for an inspiring night. Tonight, forgiveness coach Rob Scott joins me to talk about the power of letting go of grudges and moving forward in life as free from the past as possible. We'll dive into something Rob and I connected on. FOE. You'll have to tune in to find out what it is. Plus, we'll discuss taking risks and actually living your dreams, not just talking about them. What's holding you back? Plus, we've got our anonymous letter and a tip from Tia, and we'll wrap it up with our Wheww Hunnii of the week. Let's get into it with Miss Hollywood, SunniD and Alto Edwards. What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Miss Hollywood, and welcome to Wheww Hunnii Wednesdays. I hope that everybody had a productive week. So far, it's only Wednesday, so we still got a couple of days to go. But if you guys could please share this live and tag up to 3 people, that would be very much appreciated. What do you think about that, Alto? Don't they need to start doing better with sharing this live?
Tag them, share it, post it, something.
All right, so guys, tonight we have. Okay, we got our guest. So we will not have our co-host SunniD tonight. We'll let her tell you guys next week. She'll tell y'all because she don't say any damn thing. But she will tell y'all why she is not here today. But she will be gone tonight, so we'll miss her. But we'll see her back next week. But we will be joined in a couple of minutes by forgiveness coach Rob Scott. He's already in the building, y'all. So if you guys can think of any questions that you guys might have on the topic of forgiveness, you guys are free to get into the comments, and I'll try to read as many questions that I can. If you guys have any, I think it's a very important topic to talk about. Forgiveness is a big word, and a lot of us, have a problem forgiving. Even though we're all supposed to forgive, you don't have to forget. So we're gonna get into that with Rob Scott very shortly because I got some questions for him. I can't wait to talk to Rob. Also, we will. If we get a couple extra minutes tonight, we're going to talk about your dreams, guys. I want to know why so many people dream. They have dreams. They have all these things that they want to do, but they never do them. And a lot of the times it is fear. It's fear that keeps people from just leaping out on faith and just saying, you know what? Oh, wow, I'm going to try it. If I don't succeed at it, I'll try it again. And again and again and again, repeat. Everybody's worried. I think about what people think about them. I used to be one of those people. No more. I could give a damn about what y'all. That's a true story. And we will also we will also have another anonymous letter tonight. Now, this anonymous letter is a continuation of the anonymous letter that I had read last week. Hilarious, crazy. I was in tears reading the other part of his letter. So we're going to get into that. But before we do, Alto, did you have anything that you wanted to throw out there to the viewers tonight?
Stay warm. It's cold around here. You got your heat on?
It is very cold, right?
It is cold.
It is.
Wear socks.
I know, right? Please don't even start with me because I don't really wear socks. I know. I don't wear socks. I don't wear socks.
My grandma would say that's why you was in the bed sick all last week, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
And she would be right because remember I was sick a week ago, right? And I'm still a little sick. Let me tell you how cold my feet were. My feet have never been that cold. I knew I was going to get sick. All right. So anyway, we're going to get into the show. We'll talk about me not wearing socks at another time. Okay. And we'll talk about that. But I want to start the show off with my win of the day. And I want to say that this win for me today is I saw something that I wasn't sure how I felt about it. And I just thought about it and just decided I really do not give a damn because I have to stop trying to control every single thing. Everything is not going to go perfect. Okay? So I am trying to learn to just say, okay, screw it. You know what? We'll fix it or we'll do it different later. I'm not about to let that take me down because I'm telling y'all, that is an issue with me. But my win, out of that situation today was I really do not give a damn. And I've done moved on from it. So aside from me telling you guys right now, I'm not talking about it or thinking about it anymore. So that was my win of the day. And don't forget, guys, you all have a win. Okay? You all have a win of the day, even if you might not realize that you have a win. You have won something today, even if it was just you waking up. What about you, Alto?
My win of the day. Oh my God. It's been crazy busy at work, and I finally caught up. So that is my win.
I love it. Listen, you know what? Sometimes things, small things, they're really big things. You know what I'm saying? And that's good. Small things to some, might be huge to you, and you overcame that. So that's good. Okay. We are getting ready to bring on Rob Scott so we can get into the conversation of forgiveness. So, you guys, let's welcome Rob Scott. Rob, this is my co-host, Alto. SunniD
Pleasure.
Not here tonight, but that is Rob Alto.
Hello.
Hi, it's a pleasure.
How are you? What's going on, Rob?
Oh man, I am excited. It's been a fun day, and I get to end it with you guys.
Oh my God! Yes, we love it. Okay. Before we get into all of this good stuff that Rob is going to hopefully help y'all to implement into y'all unforgiving lives, I need to ask you guys, have you guys gotten life insurance? Or are you guys going to be a part of the fish fry community? And it would be a damn shame. Not the fish fry! And you know what? That's almost unforgivable. Right, Alto? That is almost unforgivable. But Rob, okay, listen, let's get into it, Rob. Listen, okay. Forgiveness is a big, big word.
It is.
Okay? Forgiveness is a big word. Forgiveness is one of those words that, honestly, I could say a couple of years ago, I didn't want to hear. I didn't want to hear it. I wanted to be angry. I wanted to be able to be mad for as long as I wanted to until I felt like I had enough of being mad. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But what that was doing was taking away from my life, taking away from my happiness and consuming me with thoughts and feelings that I didn't want, really. But I was stubborn and, you know how that goes, right?
Guilty. Been there.
Exactly. So my first question for you first is, how did you even start off being a forgiveness coach? And was it something personal in your own life that led you down this direction?
Yes, actually. It was very personal till. Are we here?
You're here. You faded out. Start over.
Okay. So I didn't really get involved or learn about forgiveness coaching until 2020, but the story starts back in 2019 when a friend of mine handed me a book called Sacred Pace by a friend of mine.
Rob, are you on a computer or
Larry
your phone?
Cooper. And I'm on a computer. I've got
That's why. That's why.
Sorry.
I gotta start telling my guests that they gotta. Are you able to do it on your phone?
Give me a second. Let me try.
Okay. I got to start reminding people because I always forget to do that. Let me turn on a thing just in case somebody wants to call in. I want somebody to call in crazy tonight because, baby, I'm ready for crazy. I'm right. Okay, you're here?
Give me 1 second. Let me get
I was like, that was quick.
on my phone. Let me hop off. I'll hop back on.
That's perfect. I'll take you off.
All right.
What about you, Alto? Have you ever had any issues, Alto?
Any issues with what?
What is going on tonight? Like something's up. Was it really Rob or was it like? Because
I don't know.
No, have you ever
body?
Yeah. No, but have you ever had any issues with forgiveness?
No. And I'm going to tell you why. I grew up around a lot of bitter people. People that held on to anger, people that always needed to have the last word, people that just, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the way that they acted. I didn't like the way that they reacted to things. You know, even as a kid, I'm like, why?
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm not sure what's on.
Are we there?
Are you there?
Are we there?
Said the same thing at the same time. I think that you're there, but I don't know. So you said that you grew up with a lot of people that were very bitter.
Yep. A lot of angry people that held grudges. And I just said I didn't want that for me. I'm not going to live that life. I'm just going to, hey, it happened, whatever, we're moving on. I don't have to have the last word. I don't have to, you know, tell you about how you pissed me off every time I see you. What's the point? Exactly. So nah, I get over it. I move on. I'm like, let the universe deal with you. I don't have to.
Right. Wow. I learned that so late. But you know what? It's better late than never.
Yep.
That, you know. All right, let me see if I can hold on. Let me I'm gonna send Scott because Scott is still not back. So let me send him another one. Oh, I think he's here. Is he back? Scott is back. Yes, he's back. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Okay. Is this better?
Oh my God! Like you are crystal clear like my wine.
Oh, nice. Love it.
So tell me, starting from the beginning, guys, for the people that are coming in, we have forgiveness coach Rob Scott here tonight, who is just going to be telling us some, you know, things about the word forgiveness, why we need to do it, even though sometimes we're like, no, they can burn in hell. You know, you want to serve their heads up on a silver platter. Well, not even silver. A platter. Okay. So, Scott, so you can start over just telling us, because I asked you how you came, you know, to be a forgiveness coach. And was it something that happened to you in your personal life that led you down this direction? And you started saying something about 2019.
Yep. So the journey started for me in 2019 when a friend of mine handed me a book called Sacred Pace by Terry Looper, and started reading that. It's about, you know, having a better relationship with God. And at the time, my relationship with God was kind of going up and down, and I really wanted to have a solid relationship. And so for 6-8 months was growing, a lot of spiritual shifts. And then I got an email invitation to a Change for Good conference and the opportunity to be a demo dummy for chronic pain. And it was one of those God timing things. Looked at my wife, I'm like, we've got to go. So go. I get to be the demo dummy for chronic pain. And I had a pain in my back. I'd seen doctors, I'd seen chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, all over the world at this point, because I did some mission work in South Korea and Russia for a few years. And no one could get rid of it. It was just there. In fact, I had a friend who had a similar pain, and he spent thousands of dollars. The doctor said, hey, you just have a short ligament. You're going to be living with this pain for the rest of your life. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to spend thousands of dollars to get the same answer. Yeah. So I'm like, why not? Let's go. Well, turns out that pain was anger, frustration, abandonment, and disassociation from when my parents announced to me that they were getting a divorce when I was around 8 years old. Wow. So I learned that I was a high-functioning, angry 8-year-old robot for the majority of my life, doing the best I could. And through the forgiveness process, I was able to forgive myself, forgive my parents, give them permission to forgive me, let go of all of the negative emotions, patterns, and beliefs that I, developed in that trauma period, and, put in positive ones. And I kid you not, at the end of that session, just like that, pain's gone. And it hasn't come back.
OMG, wow.
Not only that, but after that session, I went to the restroom because, it was a long session. I needed to take a break. Looked at myself in the mirror. I saw myself for the first time. I'm not joking. There's a passage in scripture that talks about, a fool is someone who doesn't remember their image. They can't remember what they look like. Mm-hmm. Something to that effect. And that always bugged me because I couldn't remember what I looked like. And I saw myself for the first time. I'm like, man, you're a good looking dude. And because forgiveness had been a part of my life, because I grew up in the church and my dad was very big on, hey, you need to apologize, you need to forgive. I was like, I could do this for a living. This is great. More people need to have this kind of freedom. And so that started the journey. And after going through training, my first core training, I became a forgiveness coach the day after, the whole world shut down in 2020. People love and I've been helping people ever since.
Okay. The part where you said that you recognize yourself for the first time is something really crazy to me and amazing.
Yeah, it was like the realization that for the majority of my life, I've been sitting in the back seat of the car while someone else drove. My subconscious and my conscious finally connected, and I became a whole person.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you were doing forgiveness coaching, and I mean, did you go through a process even after that process?
I mean, I have worked with other forgiveness coaches. I go through the process with myself when I recognize that I'm getting triggered and I'm not showing up as my adult self. I'm showing up as a younger version, throwing a tantrum.
Angry person. the angrier version.
Angrier or sad, anxious, depressed. When I recognize that my equilibrium is not balanced and I don't know why I responded the way I did with my wife, with my kids, with friends, family, etc. I recognize, hey, there's something from my past that I'm holding on to and I need to let go of. Now, anger and me, go way, way back. And, when you're talking about, holding on to, just wanting to be angry and, get that fill, that was me for the majority of my life. Mm-hmm. And it ate me up, all kinds of physical stuff, not just, the pain in my back, but, and sometimes it was justified anger. Mm-hmm. And
Right. No, right. And on justified anger, that's also part of, like I said, I wanted to be angry. I didn't want to be over it because I felt like no one was still listening. And I know that I was adult and I went through things as a kid, but I still never felt heard as a kid, and felt like after I started to share some things that it still was not being, I was not being heard. And it made me angrier every time I thought of, you know what I'm saying? I just never, the cycle repeating. No, I want to be mad until I get my point across. I have a right to be mad. You know what I mean? But like I said, at the end of the day, who was I hurting? Me. That's who was being hurt, me. And now, but see, here's the thing. Now that you're not angry, and then you turn that into, I really do not give a damn, and then you seem like you're like, the mean girl because I shut certain things off and certain feelings. I have forgiven, but I realize that forgiveness does not mean that I have to reconnect.
That is true.
I do not need to reconnect. People try to force situations, relationships. There are just certain things that we all just need to respect. You know what I mean? Listen, me personally, speaking for myself, being able to forgive for me is a big thing. That's a big deal. Okay, because that wasn't me a couple years ago. Hey, I hate you. They're dead to me. Like your head was on a platter. It was not a silver platter. I did not give a damn. A lot of people out there praying for me, though, and I know that. My husband being the main one. Prayer works.
It does.
So I've come a long way. So I want to ask you, for anybody out there that is watching that needs to try to figure out why they themselves just cannot come to forgive somebody for something, could you just explain why it is important to do so?
Absolutely. So there's a spiritual side. There's also, scientific, research behind unforgiveness and what it does to you, and why forgiveness is so important. So on the spiritual side, if for those who are Christians and read the Bible, the Lord's Prayer, right below that, there's a passage that gets overlooked a lot. It says, basically, you need to forgive others, otherwise you're not going to get forgiven. And so from that aspect, it is important to forgive. Very important. I mean, God forgave us, and God has a standing, order of forgiveness for everyone when they come to accept Jesus as their Lord and Savior, and forgiveness is given. Sins are, wiped away. Big stuff. Okay. So that's the spiritual side in a nutshell. On the scientific side, on how it impacts you physically and mentally, you're looking at here I've got the Mayo Clinic's list of things pulled up. You're looking at healthier relationships. You're able to interact with people a lot better. You're not coming at them with anger and the hatchet that you buried with the handle sticking out. You've got improved mental health, more clarity, less anxiety, stress, mentally and physically, fewer symptoms of depression, lower blood pressure, stronger immune system, improved heart health, and improved self-esteem. And that's a lot of stuff that takes place when you forgive. And my story is just one testimony to how when you forgive, the body releases all of that tension, because it wasn't going away before that. And I spent 30 some odd years holding that back pain. So it's really important if you want to have relationships, with people who have hurt you, and I can share stories, from my own life on this. Forgiveness is required, absolutely required. And what I like to share with my clients, and anyone really, is that justified anger. Totally get it. You are absolutely justified in being angry. But it's like holding $100 bill in your fist and going to God or the universe, whoever, going, this is my payment. This is my payment. God's over here going, I've got the bank right here. I'd love to give you. You just got to let go of that anger. You've got to forgive. And so that's, that's the easiest visual I can give on why it is so important to forgive, because it will eat you up, and it will impact you mentally and physically.
For sure. I'm living proof. Now, Alto shared something while you were getting reconnected. Alto, do you want to just repeat a little bit briefly what you said when I asked you, have you ever had an issue, at any point in your life with forgiving? And I thought that her response was pretty interesting.
No, I was just saying that, no, it's never been an issue, just because of the people that I grew up around, my family members. I watched them hold on to that anger, that rage, always, wanting to one up or best somebody, or, just not existing in a world where they were free from just being upset all the time. I didn't want to live like that. I'm like, there's literally no reason for me to just be walking around mad all day. It doesn't make any sense. People are going to hurt you. People are going to be mean. People are going to do things, but you don't have to hold on to that for the rest of your life. You're lighter when you're not holding on to that. And that's just something I've always done. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let the universe deal with you. That is okay. You pissed me off. You did something bad to me. Okay. It hurt me in the moment. I dealt with it. I moved on, whether it be seeking therapy or just, removing you from my life or whatever the case may be. But I am not built to hold that. I'm 5 foot nothing. and carrying around all that anger and rage is, I'll be 50 in a minute, and most people think I am all of 35. I want to hold on to that.
Yes, I love that. I love that for you. So I say, Scott, Rob, I'm calling you by your last name, Rob.
I answer to both.
Is there a time limit on when people have to forgive?
No, not really. It's better to forgive sooner rather than later, because that releases you from the cage. Alto, I think you were alluding to a cage that, your family members, built for themselves with that unforgiveness, that anger, that rage. The sooner you forgive, the sooner you free yourself from, all of the negative emotions, patterns, and beliefs that, were created in the moment, in the argument. So sooner is definitely better, but, if it takes years for you to get to that point of being able to forgive, it takes years.
Right. Here's my thing. I say I'm to that point. I've gotten to that point. I was, angry for years, and I finally freed myself of something that, listen, I always said, no, never, no, forget that. And now, like, I feel so much better that I'm good. Like, I let go, I forgave, and I don't know. It's just different. It's just a different thing. But the reconnection. I'm okay. I'm still okay. That's that. What did you say? It was a well, I use a shovel.
Yep. The hatchet.
Yeah, you. Well, I like hatchets too. And I have one, a real big one too. But no, I use a shovel, and people always say, "Yeah, she'll bury you. She'll bury you." I did, and I still will. But I can bury people without, like, I can bury people but forgive. Does that make sense? Like, it's like, I forgive you for what you did, for the lies that you said, for, just everything, whatever the situation was, I forgive you, but I never want anything to do with you again in life. I don't care if, like, I don't want to hear your name, like, anything about, it's like, so I don't know. Am I still holding on to things? Am I taking it too far?
I'd say there's probably a little bit of unforgiveness still lingering there, just from how you describe it. That being said, when you forgive a person, and also forgive yourself too, in the whole process. But when you forgive someone, it doesn't mean you automatically have to trust them and give them full access to you immediately or ever. You open up the space for reconciliation. Doesn't necessarily mean it has to be without boundaries. I highly recommend, having boundaries, safeguards, let them earn back the trust that they lost when they wronged you. If that's what you want to do, it's your choice.
Yeah, I typically don't want to. And honestly, I'm telling you, like, seriously, I really did forgive people, but I just never want to be around them ever again in life. Like, to me, it was like, that was an experience in life. Some, things that I went through or whatever with whoever, and I don't wish any bad. I wish you well, but just not around me.
Yeah.
That's how it is. I really am not angry. Like, I'm not. It's not anger. It's just, I think that because, like I said, I go back to everything that I went through. I have like this protective barrier up against around myself now.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people look at me as tough and she's strong and she's this and she's that. And I am, but I'm still human.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to be hurt from anyone. I don't want to allow anyone in close enough to me to hurt me. So therefore, that's my way of keeping that boundary. And I mean, you all the way in another country. That's how I look at you. You might live right around the corner, but like, that's the kind of separation that I just that I have to have for me. It's just for me. And sometimes it's people that you've given multiple chances. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with you. You allow certain people, I have allowed to do certain things, and I let them come back because of who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And you just get disappointed over and over. And you know what? Sometimes you just got to say enough.
Yep.
And that's it.
Well, and the other aspect, you're forgiving, the person for what they've done. Mm-hmm. Okay. Whether that's in person or, saying forgiveness statements out loud, which I highly recommend. If you're going to forgive someone, don't just say it in your head, speak it out loud. There's power in your words, in the spoken word. If the person comes back to you apologetic, genuine apology, not just that, oh, I'm sorry, can we move on now? That kind of BS. But someone who's truly remorseful, repenting, ask for forgiveness. It's good to forgive. It's actually, Jesus said, if your brother comes to you and apologizes and asks for forgiveness, you have to. Again, doesn't necessarily mean you have to go back into being, bosom buddies. Mm-hmm. But, that's, something that we're commanded to give as Christians. Mm-hmm. But for the rest of the world, it's good to do it either way, because you're not holding on to all of the negative emotions and stuff that are eating your body alive.
But here's the thing. Now, this is tricky, because what if you have fully forgiven someone, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Say Alto has forgiven someone completely, like, because she's the type of person, like she just said, she just does not care. She just lets it go. You heard me? All right, you got that for the moment. But she doesn't hold on to it. But what if it's someone who has forgiven, but it's just the sight of a person. And I know it sounds crazy, but you know, it's just the sight of a person that triggers them all over again. Like they're okay. I'll use me for instance because I'm good for this.
Yep.
You know, you have done me dirty. I forgive you, but every time I see you, it just triggers. What is that? Is that mental illness at this point? Like, what is it?
No, so there's still, I would say there's still some forgiveness that does need to take place, and it may actually stem not.
Scott's frozen.
From
that was
when they wronged you.
Okay, wait, Scott. You said you got to start it because you happened. We was just froze. You froze.
Oh, you did too. So
you're back.
Okay, let me start. All right. All right. So just the sight of a person is triggering for you. That's an indication that there's still some anger, some emotions, whatever it is, fear, could be any number of things that you're still holding on to. The protective measures, depending on what the trauma of that interaction with that person is.
Right.
So there's still some forgiveness. You may need to forgive yourself for holding on to that anger. A lot of people say, "I forgive you." Okay, that's what I learned growing up in the church. But the notion of forgiving yourself for holding on to beliefs and emotions and that kind of stuff was completely foreign to me until I got into this work and I realized just how robust forgiveness is and needs to be in our lives. So there may be some things that you're holding on to that you need to forgive yourself for, and they may, need to be forgiven for things that, are coming up for you.
Forgive yourself for allowing yourself to be a damn fool.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just saying, allowing yourself to allow somebody to do, treat you any kind of way when they showed you the first time. You know what Maya Angelou said? When they show you who they are the first time, believe them. So if you go back in for more, then I get what you're saying, and I'm not making light of it, but I'm just trying to be as honest as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm trying. Yeah, I take you at your word, and the struggle that you've had, I've had it too, and I've had to go back and forgive the person multiple times. I've had to ask myself, what am I holding on to? And be still and let my body speak.
Yes.
To bring up what is it that I'm still holding on to, because I thought I forgave them. I mean, shoot, my parents, when they announced when they were getting a divorce when I was 8 years old, I thought I'd forgiven them a long time ago. Like I legitimately was surprised that this came up.
Yeah.
And then I realized how much I sucked at forgiving and how much I really just buried the hatchet with the handle sticking out for, so many people in my life and so many, encounters and stuff from my past. I was still just picking up the hatchet and going at them inside my head most of the time with inner dialogue and all that kind of stuff.
So does forgiving also require self-examination? I don't know if that's a stupid question, but
no, it's not a stupid question. Forgiving does require self-examination because you're allowing yourself to be present with your emotions. I encourage people, when they get my forgiveness guide that I, give to my clients, like, you're not going to be great at forgiving, using forgiveness on a daily basis right away. Write the stuff down. One, that helps get it out of your body and your mind. Two, it gives you some structure and allows you to step back and analyze what's going on internally for yourself. And it may bring up some stuff from your past. A lot of the responses that we have, 95% of our responses come from our subconscious. And our subconscious was really programmed, in the first years of our life. So a lot of how we show up comes from our childhood. And that, if we don't deal with that, we show up as a younger, angry 8-year-old robot when we encounter people.
So when your childhood, like you just said, it comes from your childhood. Well, when you're a little child, and you go through hell as a little child, and you're never taught, number one, you're never asked, are you okay?
Mhm.
You never asked, what's going on? How can I help you? Do you need to talk? Like when there are a lot of children that are effed up. And I don't got this. I said F. I didn't curse. But there are a lot of young people that are screwed up because they didn't have I love you. They didn't have affection. They didn't feel wanted. They didn't feel accepted. They were bullied. I was bullied. So there's a lot of trauma that was never dealt with that you bring into your adult life, but you never dealt with that. Now you got trauma in your adult life. You're just effed up.
What I have found in this work is that a lot of the stuff that we do the here and now is just a repeated pattern, of the past. So on a subconsciously and sometimes even consciously, we get into relationships and situations and stuff that mirror what happened to us in the past. And our subconscious is wanting to resolve that unresolved conflict that we're holding on to, because it's like a computer screen. You got a bunch of tabs open running in the background, and it's like, hey, I need to close this off, but it's opening up another tab and repeating the same process. So it's trying to resolve that in the here and now. And with self-reflection, you can allow your subconscious, this from your past is feeding into what's going on in your present. Let's forgive the people from the past, which is going to allow us to more easily forgive the people in our present. And when you forgive someone, and forgive yourself for holding on to things and let it go, you can then install positive emotions, patterns, and beliefs on those root files, so that you're rewiring your system to show up with love, forgiveness, happiness, feeling safety, security, completeness, worthiness, all of those things in your life. So it's forgiveness is a huge part of it, but you don't leave the system empty. Install a good program.
Okay, so the final topic that I want to get into with you is something that you and I discussed during our conversation. And I mean, I was so excited after talking to you, because I'm like, he got me. Like, he gets me. He got me. I understand. He understood, and I understood you. But we talked about FOE, and you said, what is that? And I told you that it's family over everything. Okay. And I told you that I do not believe in that. And why I do not believe in that, I don't know if I told you that is because I feel as if that word, first off, that word. Who's the dog? Your dog?
Not my dog. Gotcha. Hello?
Okay, so FOE, and I listen, people are going, y'all, listeners, whoever y'all want to take, me and whoever else that y'all see on social media, opening up a little bit, being transparent. Y'all gonna take it how y'all want, and it's all good because that's part of being in a public, space. So I get it. But FOE to me, no, I'm not FOE. And I say FOE, I say that I'm not because I feel like the word family has been the detriment of most of the things that I've went through in my life. That word. So no, I'm not FOE. People act like no, but that's my cousin, that's my sister, or that's my grandma. And they saying, and you're supposed to just be like, nah, okay, you know what I mean? But that's who they, that's my blood. So I have to just look over what it was and just move on and act like it hurt. Meanwhile, people out here hurting, killing themselves and doing all that because of shit that they went through.
You're good. Getting close to money collector. Yeah, no, I'm totally with you on that. I grew up with FOE in my household, kind of even in the church, and it, I kept going back to these people who continued to hurt me, forgiving them, best I knew how, and never set any boundaries, never, looked at myself and went, hey, this isn't good. This isn't right. Or I did, say that, but then I got shut down because I was pointing out some flaws in the system. And it's actually been very liberating to be able to forgive, family members who have hurt me, and set boundaries and say, if you want to be in my life, these are the things that, need to happen. Full transparency. I had to do that with my dad because I love him to death, but he lives in a state of cognitive dissonance in order to maintain his relationship with his second wife and that family and my step siblings. And I, had to say, I love you. I forgive you for all of the things you've done. And, some things will trigger me and bring up another memory from my dad, and I go through the forgiveness process. That I told him, these are the requirements, to be in my life. And, my dad said, nope, I don't think we're going to do that. And I was like, okay, it hurt. It sucked. I got mad.
Yeah.
And I had to forgive him all over again.
Right. But I want, I want people to understand that you're not being mean. You're not being a mean guy or a mean girl for choosing you.
No.
Okay? You're not, people are going to look at you and think about you in all kinds of ways. And you know what I realized? That is not my business. That's not my problem. That's your problem. So I just, I'm in the mode now at my age now that I'm going to protect myself. And I don't care what it costs. I don't care anymore. I've been in in the past, like I said, I've cared, been hurt. I hated people. Like I literally hated people. I don't anymore, thank God. And I've forgiven and moved on, and you still, I don't know. It's like even when you moved on and you're doing better in your life and just better with yourself, within yourself, there's still the BS going on out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Always the BS going on. And I'm just trying to tell my viewers, anybody that might be going through anything similar or listen, it's okay to choose you.
Yeah.
Okay. It really is okay. Okay. That FOE stuff, it's for whoever it is for. people go through things, and I say y'all crazy as hell for allowing people to treat you a certain kind of way and just get away with it and act like it's normal. And it's not. That's how the cycle continues. Use the pattern. It's like it's learned behavior, and people just say, well, that's family over everything.
That goes back into what we talked about earlier of self-reflection. If a lot of people who I've encountered, myself included, who are family over everything, were living this sacrificial life, sacrificing themselves, not loving themselves, like you said, and they don't stop and reflect on what's going on, what they're allowing into their lives. Something for me, really hit home when I started on this journey of forgiveness, really started on it, was the second, greatest commandment. Remember what that is? Love your neighbor as yourself.
I heard that today.
So much of my life in church, it was love your neighbor was emphasized, but as yourself dropped off the cliff, and was a boulder was literally thrown over it, because you're basically supposed to sacrifice yourself. And that was so warped. I mean, just so warped. Loving yourself recognizes that you have worth. You are worthy of love, respect, and that requires boundaries. That requires other people, living up to your expectations, and honoring your boundaries. And family over everything does not do that. That takes a steamroller and just blasts the hell out of it, and you become part of the collective, and you're supposed to sacrifice yourself for everything. I can't get behind that, because that rejects yourself. It rejects autonomy.
So you would agree that you have to take care of yourself first.
Yeah.
You're no good to anybody else if you're all messed up.
Yeah.
Or you're all messed up and you're just like going along with the negative, crazy flow that is the pattern of life that you've grown up with. You're just intertwined. You're all in it because that's all you know. You don't know any better, which is unhealthy. And there are a lot of unhealthy people who will probably never get healthy because they don't see anything wrong with their actions. Well, that's how I grew up. Well, that's just, that's how my mom was. Well, that's how whoever was. But you don't have to be that way.
Right.
I have to learn all these things about myself.
Same.
And when you stop caring and just focusing on you and your mental health and your well-being, you are looked at as God knows what. But you have to be able to, get some thick skin, because I've always had thick skin. But again, I'm human. And I had to really pick my battles, because like right now, I could be, child will be over. So that's what they have in jail, right?
Yeah.
I chose to live outside. Okay. It was like, what?
Yep. Didn't quite connect the dots right away.
Yeah. Canteen, all that. I was a correction officer, so I do know, all those terms as well. However, it could have easily been me in there with the green outfit or orange or whatever. But listen, Scott, did you want to leave us with anything on forgiveness? Did you want to leave us with anything?
I would encourage you and your listeners to give forgiveness a shot. It's really, looked down upon, frowned upon, but it has so many research studies that say forgiveness is absolutely important to every aspect of our life. And start by forgiving yourself. Forgive the people, who wronged you, but also forgive yourself for holding on to all of that stuff. And it has changed my life. It's changed many of my clients' lives for so much good, so much good. And I just want more people to be forgiving and make it a part of their lives. It is a tool that people need in their tool belt.
Scott, thank you so much, Rob. I might have to reach out to you if I start, like, you know, if my hands start itching for that shovel, I'm just gonna call you.
Please do, please do.
Because I really, like, I'm happy in my life now, and I feel like, you know, I'm finally doing something that I want to do. I love talking, and I love being able to provide a safe space for people to come to and listen to people like you. You know,
That's
and
awesome.
me and my co-host every week we give out positive vibes, and we trying to bring something positive to people's lives because there's enough crazy already. So I'm just grateful to be in the space that I'm in, but I'm grateful to have people like you out here that are positive, and you have powerful words that, you know, we can all use and implement in our lives. So thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
I don't know why I'm calling you Scott. I don't know why.
Don't worry. Everyone in my life, you know, growing up, he called me Scott.
Oh my goodness. All right, Rob Scott, everybody. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Rob.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. So what you think about Rob?
That was good talk, man. I think a lot of people needed to hear that. I feel like there are a lot of people that believe that to forgive is a weakness, and it's not. It's actually a strength. It takes strength to just forgive and not hold on to it. So start working on that. Put it in your toolbox, like you said.
Okay. So I have figured out exactly why we have been freezing. And you know why? It's because my Instagram notifications are going through the roof. So I'm going to have my son come here, turn off my notifications on my computer because I don't know how to do it. But before we go, we got a couple things to get into. So I'm going to ask Alto, because we're not going to take this into next week. Alto, Beyonce won Grammy for Cowboy Carter. People are losing their
I don't care nothing about that. I don't care nothing about that. I'm just gonna cut you off because I don't care. Because guess what? My boy, my man, in my real life, Chris Brown had that Grammy. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Don't nobody care.
Listen, Chris Brown is on here already. Alto, I got him. He was next.
We got to talk about Beyonce. We got to talk about her. Now, listen, don't come for me, Beehive, because I love some B. Don't get me wrong. However,
Chris Brown.
It's all about Breezy right now.
Oh, I was so happy for Chris. Oh my God, I was so happy. I was like, yes. Okay, now let me get into this damn anonymous letter. But before we get into the anonymous letter, really quickly, girl, what about that girl, Dank the Mouse? Who? Dank the Mouse, the girl that is suing Lyft.
You know what? My daughter came down here and said this to me about 2 hours ago. And what I was about to say was real mean. And so I stopped myself. I'm going to put it to you like this. I feel like people need to be more self-aware. Okay. And also, in being more self-aware, understand that they ain't entitled to nothing.
Oh, almost got you.
They ain't entitled to nothing.
Right.
Because if it was not for the fact that she is a bigger person, she wouldn't have a leg to stand on if that man had denied her that ride. Okay. If that man had just said, you know what, I'm not taking you nowhere for whatever reason, as long as it wasn't racially motivated or whatever the case may be, she wouldn't I feel like she's really just trying to get a come up.
Yeah, and a lot of people are saying that, but here's the thing. I went online Because I wanted to see, okay, well, maybe she has, I don't know. But basically what I read from Lyft's policy is that drivers do have a right
they have a right to refuse service.
They have a right to refuse the ride.
But and if that is the case, then why would they fire him?
Right.
Either I can refuse service or I can't.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like to me he got a countersuit. I'm nobody's attorney, but
I'm just saying. All right, guys. So listen. I don't know. This is an interesting story, so I'm going to stay. I'll pay attention to keep my eyes open. I'm not looking for it, but it pops up from time to time. So I'm interested in seeing what happens with this lawsuit. But in the meantime, y'all, let me continue this anonymous letter from last week. Okay. Now, the anonymous letter from last week was a single mom who was trying to figure out how can she just be herself now. She has kids up in their 30s and she's still parenting. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, we're all going to be parenting as mother and fathers, to our kids, no matter how old they are. We love them. But at the same time, when are we allowed to say, okay, can I live now? Mm-hmm. And not feel guilty about it. Mm-hmm. But she flipped this shit around. $2. I owe myself $2, and here we go. And let me just tell y'all this: the money that is put in this bank, I'm going to donate it to a charity. So just know that. Okay, here's the anonymous letter before we head out. So my cheater story is my baby daddy was acting up. A chick popped up pregnant while I was pregnant, talking about he the father. Mm-hmm. So this dude offers to give me oral. I was like, hell yeah, laughing out loud. So I'm upstairs and dude taking me to heaven. I hear my baby dad downstairs looking for me, but who cared? My then sister-in-law covered for me and sent him on a wild goose chase. First time my toes curled. And this one time while my baby daddy was asleep, I snuck out and had sex with an African in the back seat of a car. That's the first time I wanted to press charges for impersonating a man without a plan. Listen. This is the only thing I can say about this crazy story is y'all crazy. But keep the announcement letters coming. I have about 20 more, I believe. So yeah, this is very interesting. It's crazy. I mean, damn. All right. So thank you guys for all tuning in tonight to Wheww Hunnii Wednesdays. I hope that you all learned something about the word forgiveness. That is a serious word. That is a huge, powerful word. And it's, it could be a hard word for some people because, like me before, I was hell bent on not forgiving. I didn't give a damn. And thank God for prayer. Okay. We're not getting spiritual in here, but thank God for prayer and other people praying for you and you recognizing that there's more to you than just being angry and hurting yourself, being angry and not forgiving people. You just got to move on. Easier said than done. I know. So my Wheww Hunnii of the week. I don't know. I'm going to go first. I never go first. My new, you know what? Oh, God forgive me. God forgive me. Roll call. Okay. Tonight's roll call goes out to each and every new follower to the platform. I see you all.
Welcome.
For your continued support. Y'all are in my DMs. Y'all be in my DMs and y'all be saying that's with y'all chest. Oh, I mean, they be in my DMs commenting with their whole chest. I be like, I laugh because y'all funny. Y'all really funny. But I would have to say that my Wheww Hunnii of the week it's just, I don't know, just loving myself more and just understanding that, I got to let things go sometimes. I can't control everything. So that's yeah, exactly. What about you?
Shoot. My Wheww Hunnii of the week. Take your PTO.
Hold on. They commenting. All right, say it again.
Take your PTO.
Oh, take your. Oh my God. See how easy that seems, but people be sleeping on that. Y'all better take that damn time.
Take it.
Next thing you know, they'll be changing the rules on that and saying you can't take it if you don't, crazy.
Take
All
it.
right, before we go, guys, because I did forget last week because I get so caught up in the guests and everything that's happening. Let me get this tip from Tia out really quickly, and I will see you guys on the other side before we end the night.
Hey, it's Tia Christie, and this is Tips from Tia. And today's tip is all about self-care during the winter. And it's super important because a lot of women don't want to practice self-care during the winter. They don't want to groom, they don't want to do any of that stuff because, let's face it, it's not really being shown. You're not out there in a bikini or baring those legs or feet or anything like that. But it's super important to make sure that you are still practicing self-care during the wintertime because a lot can happen if you're not. So, if you're not shaving or, exfoliating, doing things like that, you can end up having an increase of bacteria or skin cells, which can lead to infection, dryness, rashes, things along those lines. So, tip from Tia, make sure that you are practicing self-care. Your body's going to thank you for it, and it's a nice time to take some me time. I'm always an advocate for me time. So make sure you're taking care of yourself. If you want more tips, just go to tipsfromtia.com and you can search. You can find a plethora of things to look for. Thanks so much.
All right, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We will see you next week. Next week, I have a double show. So I will be doing a live chat, a one-on-one, a Wheww Hunnii one-on-one with celebrity DJ and actor Talon Reed. He will be joining me. I am excited to talk to Talon. Every time I see any of his videos that he posts, he's got huge crowds around him. And I just I can't dance, but I do what I can. I do what I can, but his videos just hype me up. So we're going to be doing that at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time next week. Make sure that you guys are here. If not, I will when I get back to recapping. The recap will be available. And then we'll have our regular show that night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same place, same energy, same crazy co-hosts. Make sure that you guys visit thechatwithmisshollywood.com. You can subscribe for free. You can buy a whole mess mug, or you can buy a Wheww Hunnii t-shirt. I mean, y'all might as well get into it. All right, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye. Wheww Hunnii.
Woo.
Have you downloaded the new Black and Mobile app? Well, if you have not, get ready for a great experience and place your first order with the very first Black-owned food delivery service in the U.S. to do it. Black and Mobile, the culture delivered. And make sure that you tell them Miss Hollywood sent you. Hey, honey. Thank you for tuning in to Wheww Hunnii Wednesdays. We'll see you next week. Same time, same energy. Wheww Hunnii. Welcome to my house.